Ladies and gentlemen, the play's the thing. With your host, Judy Sleed. Special guest, Daniella Rabbani, world-famed actress of the National Yiddish Theater. Now here's Judy.
Here we are again, another show, The Play's the Thing. And I have Daniella in the hot seat, as they say.
It's nice. It's real hot. Here we go.
And she's such a pretty young lady, vivacious, fun to be with. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much.
And you have a to me, it's very unusual occupation, being in the Yiddish theater.
Yeah.
We don't have many of those.
No, certainly not young Yiddish theater actors. I'm an actor first and foremost. Yiddish theater is an art and a calling that I'm thrilled to be a part of as an artist. But I started out being a classically trained actress. I went to the Stella Adler studio for acting through the NYU program. And when I was in a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, the director, who's Stella's grandson, took me aside and said, "You act like my family," referring to the Adlers, who at that time, I didn't know this, but Stella began her career in the Yiddish theater as a child. Her father is Jacob P. Adler and was a huge Yiddish theater legend in his time when Second Avenue was overflowing with theaters and audiences, and there was a hunger for Yiddish theater.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 20 years old. I was graduating from school, and Tom, Stella's grandson, said, "Let's carry on this legacy of my family and of Yiddish theater. Let me introduce you to the National Yiddish Theater," which has been going on for 96 consecutive seasons. Bis 120, until 120 and beyond. It's been producing theater for a long time, and they were looking for fresh talent.
Of course. Is that where Molly Pecan?
Yeah, that's where Molly Pecan sort of, blossomed with the Yiddish theater, and she of course turned into a huge celebrity. And,
yes.
I do some of her songs, which is really cool.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a fireball.
So would you say your parents are in the theater, or where did you get this calling? From whom?
Oh, God. My father's very theatrical.
Oh, he is.
He's not an actor or a
He just
singer.
likes the theater?
He likes the theater. He's a real vivacious Israeli man.
Is that right?
He has a really beautiful singing voice, but never pursued it professionally.
He was born in Israel?
He was born in Israel, so was my mom. Which sort of accounts for my taking to Yiddish very quickly, because I speak Hebrew fluently.
Oh, you do?
But I wasn't raised with Yiddish.
You were born there?
I was born in New York. My mama Lashon, my mother tongue, is Hebrew. And I studied Yiddish through the Workman Circle and the Volksbühne. They gave me a scholarship, which they do for young artists who have an interest and a passion for theater and for language.
So you gave me a lot of these clippings.
Yeah.
What is this?
That's a New York Times review for a play that was presented by the National Yiddish Theater Volksbühne called Gimbel the Fool. It's an adaptation of an I.B. Singer short story that was presented off-Broadway in New York City. It follows the life of a man, Gimbel, who is this gullible, sweet-natured child who's picked on by his peers, and we follow him throughout his life, and he keeps being picked on by the town, and he's introduced to Elke, that's me.
That's you.
Who's the town squeeze, who already has a child, and the matchmaker sort of pairs these two misfits together, and it's this bizarre love story of devotion on Gimpel's part and faithlessness on Elke's part. And she has child after child, 6 children, without ever touching him once. And this poor man suffers through it. We actually have a clip, I think, of when we first meet Elke by the wash basin. She's sort of on the outskirts of society. She's a woman that's cast off, sort of like Gimpel, but on the other side of the spectrum, a whore, basically, that no one really wants anything to do with. She washes people's underwear. She curses the men who have loved her and left her. So if we could see that, that would be cool. So she's sort of a tough cookie.
I understood oi.
Oi! So she says, "Menner darf of kapores." I need them like a hole in the head, those men. Terrible men. They love me, they leave me. And she's you know, she's crass, and she's the salt of the earth. And somehow this loving man, Gimpel, falls in love with her, shockingly. She does continue to have these children, one after the other, and there is a soft side to Elke, and a mothering nature to her that we find as she rocks her baby to sleep. She talks about the devil coming between her legs to watch her as she takes care of her children. Very confused, dark character. So if we could see that second clip, that would be great.
Well, that was lovely. You have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thanks.
And how many performances did you do of this play?
It ran for about a month off Broadway. The Volksbühne is an off-Broadway house.
Where is it?
It's on 25th and Lexington at the Baruch Performing Arts Center. Now is its new home, and it's that production actually got me my equity card, which made me a professional actress, a union actress, through the Yiddish theater.
Wonderful. And how is the attendance in those theaters? Where do you get the audience?
Where do you get the audience? There are a lot of young people who are interested in sort of going back to their roots and seeing what life was like in Europe and other places in the world where Yiddish was spoken. Sometimes they just like to hear the sound of Yiddish. There are super titles in English and in Russian. So everyone is sort of welcome.
I was wondering if people went there who didn't speak Yiddish.
Yeah, there are lots of people who come who don't speak Yiddish, who are following with super titles, kind of like the opera. So it's open in that way. They also have a really strong fan base of native Yiddish speakers who are devoted to keeping the Volksbühne alive and kicking. but with sort of the new blood and young talent coming in, younger audiences are coming as well, which is really exciting.
So here is another clipping from the New York Times. Is that about the same, or this is
a different play that was just presented called Herschela Astropolia. It's starring Mike Burstyn, who's sort of star in the Yiddish theater world and beyond. This next clip is of a maid character.
this one?
Oh, the clip that we're about to show, yeah, of Herschela is about a maid character sort of crying to the heavens and to her boss about her position in life. It's sort of a commedia dell'arte piece, really broad characters, really boisterous.
So we're going to see another clipping.
Another clipping, yeah.
Mein Herz in a kleine Licht. Tut doch lachen, nur jach, neppich fein. It's mein teure Ballebuis, wer jagt dir der Klegen, ai, 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 ai. Ja, schmuf doch im Beudem, becken der stickt werden, ai, 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 ai. Ja, ich hoff in dir, du selber zu heben, ai, 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 ui, die Füße legt hier mir wei, ui, die Füße legt hier mir wei, a ganzen Tag ich räum in ihr Gei, ui, die Füße legt hier mir wei.
Oh, God.
That was really good. A lot of eyes again.
Oh, die Fieselech, my feet, they're killing me. Yeah, she was a funny character to play.
Yes. So you are very diversified. You could play a lot of different characters, different moods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
a good training, a good training.
Yes,
Okay.
that's very funny.
Thank
so
you.
here is another clipping from the New York Times. And what
They're
is
following us around. Minna Byrne is actually just recently passed away, and they talked a little bit about Minna Byrne and her life in the
She's
Yiddish
a
theater.
Yiddish
She was a Yiddish
actress?
theater actress, yeah, from the old country. This incredible talent. She died at the age of 98.
Yeah, so
and
we
was
still
performing.
have hopes.
Yeah. Until 98, you know, you wonder, you know, you see someone like Minna Byrne, who's 98 and still kicking and still performing and wants the theater and wants the
So she was
the life.
performing until the end?
She was performing until the end. And then there's Fivish Finkel, who's also presenting at the Folkspina, who's 84 years old.
How do
And
you
he
like
is up there 7 shows a week, doing sketches and songs and, you know, collaborating with his sons and living his dream, you know, at 84, bis 120, until 120 and beyond. It's incredible.
Yes, it is. That's what theater does to you.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the
Yeah.
passion that keeps us burning and chugging along. And
So is there another clipping related to this play that you want to show us?
to the Fivish Finkel Live, no. But there is some information. It's actually opening October 21st at 7 p.m. in New York City, and it's going to be amazing. Fivish Finkel is an Emmy Award-winning
I
star.
know that name.
I'm sure you do. I know you know his face.
Yes.
I wish we had a picture of his gorgeous expressive face. He's so awesome.
He was in some TV programs.
Yeah, Picket Fences, which he won
But even prior to that, some old TV series.
Really?
I think.
He won the Emmy for Picket Fences when he was like 70 or 72 years old. And he's been performing since he was like 14. So this is a man that keeps on chugging along. And he won a couple of Obies also. He was on Boston Legal? Boston Public, pardon me. He's on Boston Public also. You got to check him out.
I know that name, and I've seen him in TV productions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's going to be off Broadway with the Volksbühne starting October 21st.
And you're going to be in it too?
I'm going to do a pre-show. This really cool thing the Volksbühne does is they have an instant Yiddish program for people who are interested in just learning a bissel Yiddish. just a tiny little shtickle of Yiddish.
Yes.
A bissel. So what they do is they have a 10-minute pre-show with some stories and some lessons. For the audiences, they're coming in. I'll do some of that. But the other people performing with Five-ish includes, have you ever seen the Friends show? Have you ever seen Friends?
Friends,
Yeah.
yes.
You know Joey's agent, Estelle?
Yeah.
This really funny character actress. She's going to be in the show as well. So it's just a 3-person show, and he's collaborating with his son. So I'm not in that one, but I'll be doing the pre-show for that. And it's going to be
Great.
awesome.
So, and what is this? How to say theater in Yiddish?
2 ways.
2 ways, which are?
So the New York Times wrote a little bit about this new relationship and this new dynamic between the Yiddish theater world, between the National Yiddish Theater, which has been around for 96 years,
Yes.
going strong, and a wonderful new company called the New Yiddish Rep, which has been around for 2 years. They're interested in experimental work and pushing the envelope with Yiddish theater. And basically, the New York Times poses the question, is there room in this town for 2?
2, yes.
Is there audience enough for 2? We're here to answer that question in a way, and the answer is sort of, we're figuring it out, but it seems like yes. And will these 2 companies merge, or how will they coincide in a city where there were hundreds of Yiddish theaters lining 2nd Avenue, 60, 70 years ago. So what's wonderful is that there are publications like the New York Times, the New York Observer, and all these institutions that want to see more Yiddish theater, that are praising the work of the Yiddish theater as innovative and exciting and sort of must-see theater in New York. And there, so these articles and these publications are sort of educating the public as to, like, there's this wonderful cultural movement happening. Check it out.
So the one you're in, it's the new one.
The play?
Yeah, the one you just, your company is the new.
The Volksbühne is the one that I usually work with.
Yes.
It's been around for 96 years.
Yes,
The
so
New Yiddish Rep is, I haven't worked with them yet. They seem like wonderful, wonderful artists. I did get to collaborate with Shane Baker, who's part of has worked with the Volksbühne as well. There's some overlap between the 2 companies, but mostly my work has been with the Volksbühne for now.
So would you say there are new writers, like new playwrights with new plays, new productions, or are you reviving old ones?
There are, shockingly. I mean, yeah, there are.
Why not?
And why not? This next season, the Five-ish Finkel live show is new. It's not a revival. There's a new show coming out based on I.L. Peretz's works, The Metamorphosis of a Melody, and it's an experimental work that comes from from France. The Volksbühne is bringing Raphael Goldwasser, who's a French sort of theater star, to New York for this performance. It's new. It's being coupled with a new experimental piece conceived by Mottel Didner, who's the Associate Artistic Director of the Volksbühne. So just in this one season alone, there are 3 new pieces. Gimpel, the first clip that we saw,
Yes.
was an adaptation that's new. So yeah, there's new works coming out. Sometimes they're adaptations like Gimpel, or Herschela, the second clip that we saw, that comedy, is an adaptation. And sometimes they're translations, like the Volksbühne was nominated for a drama desk for a translation of Pirates of Penzance.
Yeah,
Which was hysterical, which was absolutely awesome. Directed by Alan Rickman, who's actually on Boardwalk Empire the other night. So, yes, there's new works coming out. The old work like the Dybbuk, or classic plays are totally worth investigating. And they are being investigated and checked out. But new works and experimental theater, multimedia theater, which is all the sort of the craze on in the theater scene, is also happening in the Yiddish theater. So the level of work is on par.
Well, I would say whatever production you'll be in is going to be a success.
Ah, thanks.
You are so motivated and you're so alive. I really enjoy looking at you and watching you.
Oh, I really appreciate it. It's with love. It really is.
Yes,
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So who is your partner, like the person, Lee, I talked to?
Oh, Lee, yeah. He's the publicist for the Volksbühne. I work a lot with Zalman Mlatek, who's the artistic director, who sort of mentored me, taught me a bunch of Yiddish songs. Do you know any Yiddish songs?
Well, my Yiddish mama.
Yeah. I'm learning that. My Yiddish mama. Do you know any of the words? I love her more than ever now.
You know who used to sing that I know? Joey Adams.
Joey Adams, I don't know.
You don't know? Well,
But
that was
I
before
heard-
your time.
A little before my time. I know, I have a lot to catch up on, really.
Well, of
Billie
course-
Holiday also did a rendition.
And I just had his name, Al Jolson, of course.
Oh, of course. Wow. I've
Yeah.
never seen or heard it, actually. But my
Yeah, that-
father loves that song.
Yes.
It makes
yeah.
him cry every time. Mein Yiddish Mame, I love her more than ever now.
Yes, that's just about to. Right, and off top of my head, I can't remember any other, but I'm sure I know some more.
Like Oifen Pripitschik brennt a fire und in Stubis Haze. It's this song that they did in Schindler's List, actually. It was a beautiful song about the rabbi teaching the next generation of children the alphabet by the fireplace.
No. Aleph, Bates.
Aleph Beis, the alphabet.
Yeah, alphabet. It's all-
Alphabet.
Yeah, it all depends because there is a new Hebrew and an old Hebrew.
Right.
And then there is Yiddish.
Right.
So there's a lot of education.
Yeah, I know. We got to keep up. How do we keep up with it all? Thank God for super titles. Because
Yeah, yes.
you can hear the ois and the bissel and the shtick and the schlep, all those key words that you can
Schlep. I love that
schlemiel,
word. Yes.
schlemazel,
Yes.
schmuck, all those words you can cue into,
Did
and
you
then
say schlemiel?
schlemiel, sort of like a dum-dum.
Yeah.
And then, if you need to fill in the blanks, there's always the translation. So that's good.
So where is your home now?
I live in New York City.
Oh,
I live
in a
in New
big
York City. I pound the pavement. I go on my auditions and do concerts and live the life of an actor, which was the plan all along.
And you have an agent?
I do, yeah, I do. I have a few agents that I work with, but a good support network, which is exciting. And like I say, this home base of the Volksbühne, which is sort of essential for an artist, a touchstone to always come back to, where you feel like you can really grow as an artist, and then go out and get the other jobs and present
So
yourself.
you feel that, as an actress, that you have to answer every call you get?
Sort of, yeah. I feel like, oh yeah, you want me to be there at 6 a.m. With 3 songs I don't know? Yeah, totally. I could totally do that. What? Yeah, and memorize all those lines? Yeah. I could totally.
That
It's a yes
reminds
game.
me of a story of Helen Hayes, that she got a job, a call that she has to play the piano, and she said, yes, I know how. She never did
Yeah,
it.
never.
She did it.
I was on my way here and I got a call like, hey, I got your name from, this writer, and I'm wondering if you can just come on in and sing 3 songs for us tomorrow morning. And I'm like, absolutely. Yes. I will see you there. No problem. Meanwhile, I'm like schwitzing.
Yes.
Another Yiddish word.
Schwitzing.
I'm schwitzing. I'm like, okay, I could do this. I could totally do this. Yeah.
Well,
you
anybody
gotta
who's
say yes.
going to see this clip, what we just did, they're gonna just call for you, because you're the one who
thanks.
could do everything.
Thanks.
So what's your phone number, kid?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Because this is the end of the show.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it was such a delight. You are absolutely the right person for the job.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And just expect the phone to be ringing
Yeah.
and ringing.
And I'll say yes.
And you
Totally.
say-
I could totally do that.
That's the way to do it.
Thank you so much.
You're
It was such
going
a
to
pleasure meeting you.
become very famous, and you're going to get more roles than you could possibly fill.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You are a delight.
Thank you. So are you. I really appreciate it. This is wonderful. I hope you can come see some of these shows at the Volksbühne.
Well, I hope so. You have to really drag me to the city.
Really?